Well, among the 238 different pitches to host Amazon's second North American headquarters, Newark, New Jersey is promising to deliver $7 billion in tax breaks, which is sparking major concerns from both liberals and conservatives. With me now to discuss, Erica Jediniak, Americans for Prosperity New Jersey State Director, along with Blake Rutherford, Democratic strategist, and Cozen O'Connor, Public Strategies Council member. Let me start with you, Erica, because you're a fellow Jerseyite. Is that what we call them? $7 billion. I don't even know where Jersey gets that kind of money. I mean, to me, the state feels like it's effectively broke. Businesses and people have been fleeing for a very long time. We've got sky-high taxes. But you're opposed to this, aren't you?
We are, and it's absolutely insane. The state of New Jersey's financial prosperity, it's just bleeding out of state. You know, there was a Van Line study that said more people leave the state of New Jersey than any other state in the entire country. Frankly, the status quo is not working.
And Blake, one of the ironies here is that a lot of Democrats also believe that this is far too lavish, if you will, an inducement to bring Amazon to the state.
Well, I think that's certainly right, Charles. I mean, you've seen Democratic groups in New Jersey align with Americans for Prosperity against this, and I think there are strong arguments, for this, predominantly because the price tag is so high. Granted, Amazon is a very attractive company. It's not unreasonable that so many states would want it to be there, but I think you have to be sensible. What you don't want here, Charles, is corporate recruitment turning into what we've seen with stadiums, where cities and counties bear hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars for a build it and they will come. I think New Jersey overplayed its hand a little bit here.
Okay, so now let's discuss where perhaps the GOP and Democrats diverge here, because let's face it, Erica, Jersey's a state run by Democrats for a very long period of time. And consequently, we've got these sky-high taxes. We've got a lot of people on public assistance. You've got all of these big businesses have been fleeing the state. So what's the moral of the story here? Maybe try to have low taxes like states like Texas and states like Utah that are attracting all of this business.
I think you got it right, especially even looking at North Carolina. Why does the state of New Jersey have to offer $7 billion, which was the highest bid in the entire country, to get over that tax and regulatory climate that we have? We need tax and labor reforms in the state of New Jersey, not some tax gimmick. And frankly, we can rely on assets like being a freight corridor. We have some of the most talented and educated workforce in the entire country.
Blake, I'm reading these stories in these states that are where the states aren't thriving, but they're locales like California, for instance. So you've got Silicon Valley, but regular folks are moving out because they can't afford the rent. And then you start to look at income inequality, a big hot button issue for progressives, but it's the most prevalent in places where progressives have been in charge for the longest. Is there a message for the Democrats here that, maybe sky-high taxes can put you in a position where you can no longer compete?
Well, I think there's a balance here, and we don't want to dive too much into the nuance of the relationship between income, property, and other taxation systems, Charles. But I think that we're seeing this with millennials, and we're seeing it with young people who've built a career, say in New York, but they're looking to move somewhere else. They're moving inward. They're moving to cities like Atlanta. They're moving to the South.
Moving in part because they can afford. They have to move, right? They want to keep the money that they're earning.
Well, sure, Charles. I'm not quarreling with you over the attractiveness of the tax climate in a place like Dallas, Texas, where you're not going to pay any income tax, and it's a big city that's thriving, and they've put in a bid for Amazon. So I think, Charles, this is something that the Democrats, certainly the progressive wing, wants to grapple with. But I think there's room for bipartisanship here. We've got to close the income inequality gap if we want to see collective prosperity. I think Democrats and Republicans got to come together on this and figure out some solutions that make sense.
Okay, guys, let's leave it there, and we'll see what happens.